We open at a shoreline, somewhere where the water meets the land, and Namor the Submariner is making a declaration. He's choosing this spot to make his stand, and he's going to use it to show the surface world who the Atlanteans truly are. The camera pulls back to reveal what that plan actually looks like. A massive, sprawling beach bash with dozens of Marvel heroes mingling in and around the water. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Black Panther, Deadpool, Gamora, Storm, and a wide assortment of other heroes are all here. There are even Atlantean sea creatures and alien guests mixed into the crowd. Namor is center stage, arms wide open, the showman of the sea. He claims himself to be the greatest beach bash host of all time. The party is in full swing, and things open at the grill station. Johnny Storm is manning the barbecue with his usual flair, using his own flames to cook hot dogs. He's clearly having the time of his life. She-Hulk is standing nearby, genuinely impressed, complimenting Namor on throwing a great shindig. Namor accepts the compliment in the most Namor way possible. He frames the whole event as a gesture of peace between land and sea. Very regal, very diplomatic. He then asks Johnny whether her sister, Susan Storm, received an invitation because he hasn't spotted her anywhere. She-Hulk explains that while Sue definitely planned to come, Reed Richards got tangled up mapping some dark matter dimension, so Sue had to bail. Namor's expression drops. He says it's a pity he hadn't heard. The page wraps up with Johnny starting to make a crack about the Fantastic Four only being 3 out of 4 today, but before he can even finish the setup, She-Hulk cuts him off, asking Johnny if he knows what time it is, as their iconic punchline is coming. Ben comes crashing out of the ocean, dripping wet, wearing blue swimming trunks and a pair of diving goggles pushed up on his rocky forehead. He's got one massive fist raised in pure triumph. He's grinning. And the caption says it all. It's Oakland time. There's no plot here, no conflict, and no dialogue beyond that one declaration. First, Ben is chatting with She-Hulk and the crew about how he basically dresses like this every day anyway. Namor acknowledges the conversation and tells them that as long as everyone is having fun, that's what matters, before duty calls him away. The next scene shifts to a more pointed exchange. Namor appears to have extended an offer to Cyclops and some mutants to consider relocating to Atlantis. He frames it as a genuine and sincere offer, but acknowledges the hard reality that most mutants simply couldn't survive on the ocean floor. Namor is standing among the crowd, looking for the Invisible Woman. Somewhere nearby, a newcomer to the party isn't quite sure whether Namor asking people to move underwater is a serious offer or a joke. Then Namor has a brief royal exchange with Black Bolt, from one king to another, with Lockjaw lounging nearby and Triton at Black Bolt's side. Black Bolt formally thanks Namor for the hospitality, and Namor politely excuses himself, saying he's looking for someone. Over on the volleyball court, the Spider people are enjoying the fact that this is a rare gathering with no civil war, no secret war, no war of the realms, just a good time. Mid-game, Namor asks if anyone has seen Susan Storm, and in the very last strip of the page, a volleyball smashes directly into Namor's face, the immediate aftermath of the volleyball incident. Miles Morales, along with at least one other Spider-Man, is visibly horrified. One of them openly admits it was 1,000% their fault. But it doesn't matter. Namor is furious. He turns on them with royal indignation, accusing his guests of coming to his party, eating his food, and then humiliating him. Spider-Man frantically tries to explain to Miles that it was an accident and urges him to just let Namor vent. That does not work. Namor shouts, "Imperious Rex," and unleashes a powerful attack, sending the Spider-Men flying through the air. He then launches into a full Namor monologue about who he is, King of Atlantis, sovereign ruler of 7/10 of the living world. He tears into the assembled heroes, accusing them of calling themselves Earth's protectors, while never truly being there for the Earth. Standing before the whole crowd, including various Spider-Folk and Groot, Namor banishes everyone from his sight and declares the beach bash officially over. Just as Namor has finished his dramatic declaration, someone starts slow clapping. Namor turns, and there she is, Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman, who has apparently been there the entire time. Namor is immediately thrown off. He hadn't realized she was there. He starts stumbling over an apology. Susan, perched calmly nearby with the air of someone who has seen this exact show before, cuts right to the point. She lists everything that just happened. Namor threw a party to get her attention. Namor nearly declared war on the surface world again. Namor showed off his generosity in front of a crowd. She looks at him and tells him she knows exactly what she adores about him. Namor, now thoroughly disarmed, stammers that he was simply trying to do something. The page closes on a warm sunset shot, with Susan walking away down the beach alone, telling Namor over her shoulder that he never changes. She adds, almost as a parting gift, that Reed says hi. Namor watches her walk away from a distance, left standing there on the beach. We're at Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, and the pool is open for business. The page opens poolside, where Cyclops, Bishop, and Iceman are standing around in their swim trunks. John Gray and Rogue are watching, and John admits she's looking respectfully. Rogue, very much not interested in being respectful, says she's looking disrespectfully. The story title card drops, Pool Beast. Then the scene cuts to Rogue chatting with Betsy Braddock and casually mentioning that she prefers a man with a little hair on his chest. Beast, who is standing right there, catches that remark and gives the most genuinely confused look you've ever seen because the man is covered from head to toe in blue fur. The irony is lost on nobody but Rogue. The bottom panel rounds out the scene with a cluster of ex-women poolside, Psylocke, Jean, Storm, and a couple of others, while Beast stands at the edge of the group, quietly sighing to himself. The boys are getting in the pool, and Iceman decides to give Hank a little motivational nudge, telling him he heard Beast was a water breed, like a Newfoundland. Meanwhile, someone else, a big broad guy, is stripping off his shirt and hollering the last one in taunt in what sounds like Russian, clearly delighted about it. The fun begins. A wide panel shows Beast and Iceman both in the water, with Iceman having slipped into his icy elemental form, while Hank wades in with considerably less grace. Then we see Beast going deeper, crouched on the pool step with just his head above the surface, and then fully submerged underwater. Something is coming, you can feel it, and there it is. Beast surfaces, and his entire mane of fur has collapsed completely over his face, hanging down in a soaking wet curtain that covers everything. He looks, to put it mildly, exactly like a sheepdog. Watching from the deck, Rogue delivers the verdict calmly. Not a Newfoundland, more like a sheepdog. Beast just floats there. The volleyball game starts calling for him, and everyone has a nickname ready. Beastie, Fuzzy, Rover, Grover, Furby. Someone shouts at him to stop standing there looking like his own wet fursona and get in the game. Hank finally obliges. Then the pool volleyball match starts in full swing, with Iceman, Beast, and a handful of others in the water, while Lockheed, the little purple dragon, is perched at the pool's edge watching. Iceman cheers Beast's move with a shout of, "Nice one, hairball!" Volleyball is over, and Beast climbs out of the pool, dripping and grumbling with every step. The sound effects track his soggy trudge across the tile. He drops himself down next to Storm, who is relaxing on a lounge chair. Aurora suggests he might want a towel, given that he is, in fact, completely soaking wet. Hank apologizes and starts to settle in. Then, without meaning to, he shakes himself dry, the way only a very large, very wet, fur-covered creature can. Storm gets annoyed after being blasted with water. That's enough. Beast retreats to the hot tub, sinking into it with a deflated look. Lockheed is perched on the rim, watching with his beady little dragon eyes. Hank vents to the dragon, saying all of this is enough to make a man want to spend a year in a lab cooking up a dangerous potion just to have one shot at looking normal again. Lockheed responds with, "Merp." Before Hank can sink further into his feelings, the volleyball crew starts yelling at him to get out of the hot tub. He's clogging the filter, and they need his serve. Beast is standing on the pool deck in the open sunlight, his head tilted back and both hands raised behind it, slowly wringing out his soaked fur. There's no dialogue at all on this page. It's just Hank McCoy standing in the sun, looking enormous, blue, and drenched, dealing with the very specific indignity of being Beast on a pool day. Back to the women on the loungers, and something has shifted. Rogue looks over at Beast and says, "Now there's a man." Jean says she's looking respectfully. Psylocke says she's not. The story has come full circle, repeating the same exchange from the opening, but now it's pointed right at Hank. Professor X can be spotted in the background. Then the volleyball team starts hollering again. They're getting crushed, and they need Beast back immediately. Rogue and Jean watch him stand up, and they both agree that apparently nobody can do without Hank. Beast cracks his knuckles, announces he's breaking out the cannonball special, and launches himself into the pool. The resulting splash is catastrophic. Everyone poolside, the women, Professor X, all of them, gets completely drenched. The final panel shows the three women sitting on their soaked loungers, staring ahead in silence. Psylocke delivers the closing line. Next time, they observe from a respectful distance. The caption sets the scene immediately. Summertime, some time ago. This is a flashback. We're at a lakeside vacation spot, and three people, Peter Parker, Johnny Storm, and Mary Jane, are having what looks like a perfectly ordinary summer trip. Peter Parker is standing on the dock in cutoff shorts, shirtless, holding a drink and asking someone to get his back, as in, apply sunscreen. Meanwhile, Venom narrates in the background that he loves Peter Parker. MJ mocks him, saying even the world's most flexible hero apparently can't reach his own back without help. Mary Jane Watson is lounging on a chair in a bikini, doing very much as she pleases. Johnny Storm joins the banter, mentioning Reed, who got dibs on being the most flexible, mocking Pete as second best at most. Third, if he counts the time he put his leg behind. Before he can finish, MJ cuts him off, telling him she saw the leaked pictures. Johnny mentions that's because he leaked them. Peter reflects on his last experience at the beach, and we can see that he is being possessed by the Venom symbiote. But Johnny calms him down, assuring him that if this is about that jacked dude and his handsy slime monster, Brock's in jail and Peter is safe now. Then MJ and Johnny both start getting concerned about Peter's behavior as he suddenly starts feeding the birds. MJ points out that something is not right. Still, in the background, Venom continues his narration that he loves Peter's smell and hopes that someday he will know that feeling again. The sun has gone down. MJ and Johnny are sitting around a small campfire outside the beach house, and Peter has dozed off somewhere inside. Johnny jokes that their reclusive little spider actually got some sun today. MJ tells him to let Peter sleep. Peter never sleeps well, so when he's out, he's out. It's a warm, genuine moment between the two of them. Then the camera cuts to a wide shot of Peter sleeping peacefully on a cot, and lurking in the shadows directly behind him, enormous and coiling, is Venom. The symbiote is right there, watching him sleep. He narrates that he is finally at peace. Back at the fire, MJ and Johnny are still talking, completely oblivious. They both marvel at the absurdity of the situation, an international supermodel and an intergalactic superhero sitting by a campfire doing nothing but talking about some curly-haired photographer dweeb. MJ shrugs. Then we cut to Venom in close-up, his eyes fixed on Peter. And then, with unmistakable hunger, mine again. Everything happens at once. Peter jolts awake in horror as the symbiote makes its move. There's a massive explosive crash as Venom tears loose and reasserts itself. Peter jumps out of the room's window, landing directly in front of MJ and Johnny, but there's no time for him to do anything. MJ comes sprinting toward the chaos, already knowing something is wrong. Venom looms over Peter with its jaws wide open, declaring loudly and possessively that Peter belongs to it, that it has reclaimed him, and that no one could ever love him the way it does. Peter, half trapped and panicking, desperately tries to tell MJ to stay back. Johnny is nearby, but the situation is moving fast. It's loud, it's chaotic, and Venom is not in a negotiating mood. MJ does something unexpected. She stops running and stands her ground. She looks straight at the symbiote and tells it that, for all its teeth and muscles, it has absolutely no idea what real love actually feels like. Venom goes quiet. Then, in a series of internal captions, Venom lays out a truth he's been sitting with for a long time. Brock hates Spider-Man. New York hates Spider-Man. Even Spider-Man hates Spider-Man sometimes. So what does it mean to love him? Venom throws a challenge at MJ to show him. The symbiote gives MJ a glimpse of its own experience of loving Peter Parker, a raw alien transmission of emotion that visibly affects her. It then possesses MJ and Johnny. Then, quietly, almost to itself, Venom wonders whether Peter will ever really want it back the way it wants him. Venom looks at Peter. He says sorry to him. He tells him he loves him and always will. Then he tells MJ to duck. Johnny Storm ignites. Flame on. The fight is over. The next morning, the three of them are back outside in the daylight. The vacation rental is, to put it mildly, not in great shape. MJ is cheerful about it. Pretty sure they lost the cleaning deposit, but Johnny mentions there's nothing a little charm can't talk their way out of. While heading back, Peter thanks them both for last night. Johnny waves it off completely, saying it was barely anything. The symbiote basically detonated itself, which was pretty weird, but whatever. Peter clarifies that he's also thanking them for the other thing, the intangible stuff. Being there, covering for him, and caring. Peter says he loves Johnny too. They all pile into a beach buggy to head home. Then, as they drive away, it comes out that the symbiote, in its final moments the night before, apparently said, "I love you" to Peter too, in what Johnny calls a very manly, very musketeer-y kind of way. Johnny is immediately defensive. MJ, driving, just says one word, "Boys." We kick things off in absolute paradise. The group has arrived at a remote tropical atoll somewhere in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, with lush palm trees, crystal blue water, and zero civilization in sight. Our four characters are introduced with handy name tags. Dr. Leonard Sampson, better known as Doc Sasquatch, Gamma Therapist Extraordinaire, his protege, Dr. Keisha Kwan, also known as Powerlift, the one and only Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk, and Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, whose title card hilariously brands her the Mai Tai apologist. Doc Sasquatch kicks things off in full professional mode, warmly welcoming everyone to this rather unconventional therapy setting. He's clearly prepared his pitch. Beach environments, he explains, rank extremely high on something called the Gronazem Relaxation Index. Very scientific, very convincing. Jennifer, meanwhile, is already skeptical. She's not opposed to a free vacation, but she notes that these things usually come with a drink voucher and at least a pool. Looking around at the empty wilderness, She-Hulk agrees that they are very much in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Then we get to Bruce. His complaint is immediate, deeply personal, and very on brand. Sand between his toes. Hulk hates it. Doc Sampson, clearly experienced at managing difficult clients, acknowledges that he is fully aware of both Bruce and She-Hulk's vocal concerns. Apparently, the flight itself was already a problem. They had to sit in the middle seat, and both Hulk and his quieter Bruce Banner personality are in complete agreement that this was an outrage. Doc Sasquatch closes out the page by handing the explanation over to Dr. Kwan. Dr. Kwan gets right to business. She pulls up what appears to be a presentation or research summary and lays out the science. As Gamma mutates, she explains, Bruce and Jennifer carry an elevated sensitivity to stress, paired with a naturally higher tendency toward anger. However, and this is the key, research has found that water-based activities slash those stress levels by more than half. Hulk squints at her. He wants to know if she genuinely dragged them out to a remote island for a Hulk beach day. Dr. Leonard confirms it enthusiastically. This particular atoll is the calmest spot in the entire Pacific according to peer-reviewed research, he insists. He even pitches seagull watching as a particularly thrilling relaxation exercise, which is perhaps the funniest thing said so far. He assures them both that it will be deeply beneficial. Hulk's response is blunt. He doesn't think he needs to be calmer. She-Hulk, slightly more open-minded, encourages Bruce, pointing out that the breeze is genuinely nice. There's a reluctant "hupft" from Jennifer, suggesting she's maybe starting to feel it just a little. Then Dr. Kwan introduces the session's tech component, wristband-style monitoring devices designed to track GABA levels. She explains that it stands for gamma-aminobutyric acid, a neurotransmitter directly connected to a person's sense of calm. She-Hulk takes one look at the monitoring device she's expected to wear and reacts with visible alarm. Hulk, however, straps his on and quietly admits, to no one in particular, that he doesn't actually hate it. A tiny victory for the therapy team. Time for the actual session to begin. Dr. Kwan opens with breathing exercises, walking the group through breath control as the cornerstone of effective stress management. Both Bruce and She-Hulk give it a genuine try. Then the session moves into water activities. The two of them wade in and start snorkeling beneath the surface. Underwater, things are serene. Fish drift by. Jennifer actually seems to settle into it. She begrudgingly admits to herself that this isn't so bad. Bruce, however, surfaces with a single verdict: boring. Doc Samson checks in with Dr. Kwan on the sideline. She-Hulk's readings are looking great, but Bruce is another story. Samson says he suspected this might be the case. What relaxes one Hulk doesn't automatically work for another. He proposes they try something more physical. Dr. Kwan asks what he has in mind. Doc Sasquatch's answer is immediate and completely unhinged. He announces that this calls for an emergency cannonball, and before anyone can process what's happening, he launches himself off a rock with full commitment, tucks into a ball mid-air, and crashes into the water directly next to She-Hulk. The resulting wave is enormous. Jennifer comes up absolutely soaked and furious, demanding to know what just happened. Hulk declares that he can finally start relaxing and cheerfully admits he's been wanting to do that since they arrived. What started as a rogue cannonball has escalated into a full-scale water battle. She-Hulk wastes no time. She grabs Doc Sasquatch and hurls him through the air with tremendous force. He crashes back into the water with a massive splash. Doc Samson, narrating from the scientific high ground, explains that this outcome is actually consistent with his theory. For certain Hulks, the physical thrill of a good clash functions as a natural adrenaline release and stress reliever. Bruce throws himself into the melee as well, enthusiastically adding his own enormous splashes and throws. The battle is completely unhinged in the best possible way. Everyone is involved. She-Hulk is competitive and aggressive. Hulk is in his element. Even Dr. Kwan ends up getting swept into the action. Doc Sasquatch is somewhere in the middle of it all, completely vindicated by the chaos he deliberately started. The water around the atoll is absolutely wrecked. The science, apparently, is working. Several cannonballs later, the storm has passed. Everyone is now stretched out on the beach in various states of total exhaustion and genuine relaxation. Dr. Kwan is lying flat on the sand. Doc Sasquatch praises her, calling it a thrilling and successful exercise and noting that the results clearly speak for themselves. Hulk has now turned back into Bruce Banner. Lying on the beach and staring up at the sky, he says something he probably doesn't say very often. This is the calmest he's felt in years. He credits Dr. Kwan and Doc Sasquatch for making it happen. She-Hulk tells Keisha it was a decent session, offering the kind of grudging compliment that counts as high praise from Jennifer Walters. Dr. Kwan echoes the sentiment, noting that it's not every day your therapy session includes gamma-powered water polo. Then Jen asks the practical question: how are they getting home? The doctors answer smoothly. The Avengers are picking them up within the hour, and then Dr. Leonard drops the real bombshell. They'll be more punctual for the future weekly sessions. The word weekly hits like a truck. She-Hulk reacts with pure horror. Hulk is even more emphatic, loudly declaring his hatred of weekly commitments. Dr. Kwan holds firm, smiling as she reminds them that relaxation is paramount. Doctor's orders. The final panel pulls back to reveal Doc Sasquatch lounging in sunglasses, grinning to himself like a man who has completely won. He dragged two of the most stubborn, anger-prone people on the planet to a remote island, got them into a water fight, and somehow convinced them both it helped because it genuinely did. And now they're locked in, weekly, whether they like it or not.